Hi everyone, I want to review with you part of the recent broadcast. It is very important to analyze our videos, but please see that a position that we want to grow in our ministry and not as a negative criticism. We will repeat different mistakes more than once before we begin to feel and avoid them. So let's see.
Stopped having children, and so we pick up the story now in Genesis chapter 30, verse 1. When Rachel saw that she was not bearing Jacob any children, she became jealous of her sister. So now we got jealousy, we have envy, we have bitterness between the two wives. So she said to Jacob, "Give me children or I'll die." Next verse. Jacob became angry with her and said, "Am I in the place of God who has kept you from having children?" Then she said, "Here's Bilhah, my maidservant. Sleep with her so that she can bear children from me." She's like a surrogate wife. "And that through her I too can build a family." And so what Rachel did is she gave Jacob her maidservant to be his third wife. Okay? This is a marriage that winds...
Quite a common situation. Preachers often turn around and read from the screen. Pastor Ed is no exception. Now the pastor's gaze directed behind the screen somewhere in an unusual place. I mean that when the preacher is facing and looking to the left or to the right, the viewer has no question where he is looking. He looks at people, but in our situation the viewers feel the lack of something in the frame.
Stopped having children, and so we pick up the story now in Genesis chapter 30, verse 1.
In this video I will build an example of the simple way out of the situation.
Chapter 30, verse 1. When Rachel saw that she was not bearing Jacob any children, she became jealous of her sister.
You have to stay on that frame until the pastor turns around, or prepare and go to another plane where you can also see where the pastor is looking. Note that I didn't show the words, so they are already at the bottom. There is a better way out of this situation, but it required the reaction and skill of the operator. At the moment when the pastor has turned, the operator can make a smooth zoom out to such a frame where the part of the screen is visible, and the directors must wait until the viewer fully understands where the pastor's view is depicted. The second frame would look like this. The next example is very interesting. I did not immediately understand what confuses me in this transition.
She gave Jacob her maidservant to be his third wife.
First, when the pastor walks toward the camera does not follow him. Let no zoom, but you need to follow. But the most interesting thing is the transition. Let's take another look. Notice the timing when the transition occurs, when the pastor turns, and when he finishes the sentence.
She's like a surrogate wife, and that through her I too can build a family. And so what Rachel did is she gave Jacob her maidservant to be his third wife.
The transition happened too soon. Unfortunately, I don't have enough videos to build the correct transition. But this transition must be either a moment before the pastor's turn or a moment after. The video director is constantly looking for an excuse to change shots. Such occasions are reaction, words and pauses. When the pastor starts walking, this is a very good plan for this camera. He is facing the camera, but the director knows that the pastors will soon turn around and will probably have his back to the camera. This is a reason to change the frame. In our case, the change attracts attention, because the pastor goes a few more steps. That is, the previous frame is not ended. And the next one is not ready yet because pastor was on the edge of the frame.